That comes from a totalitarian mindset. And the Democrat Party, let me be as clear as I know, the Democrat Party is right on the edge of no return. Its obsession with government power, its obsession with coercion, its obsession with attacking private property rights and individual liberty. It's becoming the face of fascism in this country. When is the last time a Democrat leader in Washington, D.C. talked about individual liberty? When is the last time they talked about private property rights? When is the last time they thanked successful people for creating jobs and products and services and wealth? These people detest this country. Let's be blunt. Let's stop playing games. What kind of a party nominates a man like Barack Obama to be president of the United States? A man who has spent his entire life trashing this country in one form or another. A lightweight, a rabble-rouser. I know the truth hurts, but the truth is the truth. The truth is that Barack Obama doesn't give a damn whether you have health care or not. Barack Obama gives a damn that he has the power to decide whether you get health care or not. Barack Obama gives a damn that he puts in place policies that can never be altered. Well, what kind of country is that? Is that a constitutional republic? Is that a constitutional republic? No, it's not. It is exactly what Thomas Jefferson said it is. Democratic tyranny. It's exactly what Alexis de Tocqueville said it is. Democratic despotism. It's exactly what Abraham Lincoln said. If the nation falls, it falls from within. It's exactly what Ronald Reagan said. If the nation falls, it falls from within. It's falling from within. When the hell did the federal government get the power to tell you what doctor you can see, what health care policy you can have, what hospital you can go to, what medicines you can have? When the hell did the federal government get the power to say, you are to tell us what your sexual activity is, what rash you have, how many colds you've had? When the hell did the federal government get the power to unleash the Internal Revenue Service on you? You either buy the policies we tell you to buy, or we're auditing you, or we're penalizing you. Does that sound like a constitutional republic to you? Are we a free people, or are we not a free people? Are we going to go the way of every other former republic? Just crumble? Just accept what the sovereign tells us to do? Who the hell is Barack Obama? Where did he come up with all this power and genius? How come he never presented it before he was president of the United States? He's barely literate. His 2 books are pathetic. And he'd even write them. A senator for 2 years, a backbencher in the state Senate, a man who can't speak in complete sentences unless he's reading from a teleprompter. The hell is this? Some kind of third world banana republic? No. This is a disaster. An absolute disaster. All the lives that this man is destroying. You know, there was a day when the Democrat Party stood for those coal miners in Kentucky, Pennsylvania, West Virginia, Ohio, Virginia, other parts of the country. They stood for those hard working men and women, fought for benefits for black lung disease. Now they're closing down those mines and throwing these men and women out of work. What are they going to do? Well, we're going to retrain them to build roads. No, you're not. These are human beings who have homes and families. They're not guinea pigs. Oh, we'll just retrain them. They ran the wheel this way. Now we'll teach them how to run the wheel that way. Really? Who the hell are you? The people who've been the least productive in this country get elected to office and tell everybody else what to do. How is it that Barack Obama knows how to run the oil industry? How is Barack Obama knows how to run the healthcare industry? How is it that Michelle Obama knows nutrition? She's some kind of nutrition expert? Where do they come up with all this stuff? Nowhere. They're frauds. They're in power. They're out of control. So now Barack Obama is going to blackmail us. And you liberal racist buffoons, blackmail has nothing to do with race. It's a legitimate term. Look it up if you know how. Now Barack Obama is going to blackmail us. Either you accept Obamacare and fund it, even though the Wall Street Journal and others said you can't defund it. Apparently you can. And fund it. or I'm shutting the whole damn government down. Have you ever heard of a more irresponsible man in the office of the White House? I thought he cared about the sick and the poor. I thought he cared about the elderly. I thought he cared about children with autism. I thought he cared about all these people. I thought he cared about the working poor and the middle class. Apparently he doesn't give a crap at all, does he? No, he doesn't, and he never did. He's a utopian status. First chapter, Ameritopia. It's all laid out. That's what he is. He's about power. They don't represent the people. They don't even represent a part of the people. They represent big, centralized, gluttonous, insatiable government. That's what they represent. And they're going to fight like hell to defend it. And Obamacare is the biggest accomplishment they've had ever, which means it's the biggest disaster facing you and your family. But he cares about the people, don't you know, the president? Oh, yes, he does. Says never before. A serial liar. But most imperial people are serial liars. Never before, ladies and gentlemen. Never before, he says. Never challenged by the media idiot who's questioning him because he carefully chooses which part of the Praetorian Guard he's going to make himself available to. The kiss asses. Let's be blunt. So, never before has the debt ceiling been held hostage like this. Is he kidding? He was one of the hostage takers. In the United States Senate, he voted no to increase the debt ceiling when George W. Bush was president. Does he think there's no record? Does he think we're completely illiterate, that we can't read the record? He said no to the debt ceiling increase because he wanted more spending. And I love this line. Ernest Istook's piece explains it, and I explained it the day before. We need to pay our bills. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a $17 trillion fiscal operating debt and an over $90 trillion unfunded liability debt. We're not paying our bills. He's driving up these debts. He's done zero to do anything about this debt. Well, he cut that deficit in half when, like I said, he's done zero to chip away at this debt. What he wants to do is force through the debt ceiling prospective massive increases in spending and massive increases in the debt. We're not talking about paying bills that we've already acquired. We're talking about paying bills in future months. So October 1st, he's talking about, well, we got to pay February, I got to pay March, April, May, June. Well, why? There hasn't been any spending in February, March, April, or what have you. You Social Security recipients out there, you Medicare users out there, you people who use the VA, if you don't get checks, you don't get treatment, it's because Obama decided that him blackmailing is more important than your services. The President of the United States decides if you get your check or not. The President of the United States decides if you get your treatment or not. He's in charge of the executive branch. He's in charge of the Treasury Department. He decides, because none of that has to happen. But he wants it to happen. The radical leftists, they want chaos. It's funny to hear that moron, Harry Reid, wear that suit. He looks like he sleeps in his suits, goes to the Senate floor, spittle in the corners of his mouth, with his nose running and his hair unkempt, with his effeminate voice. That's right, I said it. No implications, just an observation. Goes to the Senate floor and he calls the Tea Party anarchists when it is the Tea Party who wants to save the nation and put an end to this. When it's the Tea Party that actually upholds the Constitution that Harry Reid spits on. And they talk about how the Republicans want to shut down the government. Right. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, the Republican leadership in the House has finally gotten the message. I think, based on what they've said and proposed today, but we're going to keep an eye on them. I don't have complete faith in them. They need to follow through, not just pass something, throw it to the Senate, and then the Senate cuts it up in 14 pieces and gets what they want. And we're going to be watching the Republicans in the Senate now. So far, only a dozen are standing with the American people against Obamacare. Only a dozen are standing up for the Constitution and against this imperial president. Only a dozen Republicans. And it does not include Mitch McConnell, Lamar Alexander, and the Republican leadership in the Senate. It includes none of them. So we'll keep an eye on that, too.